Let's take a look at this image. Now how about this one? And here is the final product. So, even across mediums, we can see the care and detail it takes to create even one scene for Land of the Lustrous. Each chapter of the manga thus far has the Lunarians breach the sky, but they look wildly different, from a detailed close-up shot to the inversion of the sun, and finally this sketched version with chapter 3's titled Diamond. Yoichi Nishikawa, the concept artist for the anime, clearly took inspiration from chapter 1's depiction of the Lunarian black spot, but modified it to the new medium as the fisheye distortion that's existent in the chapter itself isn't as pronounced in the episode version. Now the PV for every episode is roughly a 15-second promo that previews the next episode. It is sandwiched between the ED and the end card, so this particular shot of Diamond, that we have been talking about thus far is the final transition between the end card for episode 1. The rest of the PV encompasses the entire episode, which is pretty good. I've never watched these PVs before making this video, for reasons I've stated elsewhere, but these trailers in particular don't really mislead the viewer that much. The advertising leading up to the release of the anime consisted of 7 trailers spanning from June to October 2017. Most of the 15 and 30-second trailers are just kind of recuts of PV1 and 4, probably to fit various other ad slots in TV, or maybe even other platforms. Maybe Twitter, Instagram. Those were ones that were used by the Houseki anime quite often. If you're pretty stringent on spoilers like I am, I would recommend not watching PV4 because it does have some. And for the sake of this video, we will not cover future episodes, only 1 and 2 thus far. The animation at the beginning of what I like to call the Congo narration PV, I think the actual name is like To Understand Land of the Lustrous Quickly or something like that. It's reused for the preamble of this episode too. But I guess reused isn't really the right word here, as stated in the previous Natural Historian 1, we learned that the first storyboard was completed back in June 2016, and all of these trailers thus far indicate that at least 1/3 of the anime was completed prior to the pilot airing, as we have at least one shot from episode 4 in this bunch. This content from the preamble was skipped from chapter 1's original source in the A part of episode 1, among other changes. I get that this would have definitely broken the flow given episode 1's unique structure on how it was adapted, and if they stuck the same sequencing as the manga into the anime, it would be extremely awkward. Hence, this section as a preamble before the OP is the best placement for a lore dump. These natural breaks such as the OP or the mid-cards are perfect for segmenting material effectively. As you can see, advertising is pretty interesting and comes in a variety of manners. This channel actually is currently running a more traditional ad right now. You may have even come here from it, if you happen to live in Poland. For the duration of the Preamble convention, look around the trams. It's like metro or like a bus system for you that live elsewhere. If you happen to be in the city of Poznan, you might see a lovable gem. The word stated in the poster also hints at a giveaway that I'm doing right now, currently. A poster collection of the Lustrous, which is what I consider to be the first piece of merchandising for the anime, is available to anyone for free. Regarding the giveaway from Natural Historian 1, to the person who tried a bot with 30,000 responses for a video that doesn't have even close to as many views, so I guess, unfortunately, only people that filled out the form with both options are considered valid. So thank you for ruining the fun for everyone else. Sorry for anyone that only picked the option for the official postcard merch. For this video's Google form, which will be in the description below, I am forced to make you sign in to your Google account and I will have to collect your address. I'm not going to dox you. This is exactly what I wanted to avoid, collecting all this personal information up front. But alas, you know, I'm not going to show up to your house, so don't worry. And the winner is... You get one of four... Hold up, I have them right here. You get one of four custom cards designed by Manuel Vivian. As you can see, there are ones that either I can't offer or I don't want to offer. And they even have a back, baby. So, enjoy. Please respond to the email that I'm sending to you within 24 hours, or I'll pick another winner that isn't announced in this. Yeah, I mean, you get one entry per video, so like, don't worry if you didn't win this time. These will be up for grabs, as well as the actual postcards, like these. There we got Zircon with the Zircon Road. But yeah, these are up for grabs. You get one entry per video, so this can stack across many of the Natural Historian videos. So don't give up, as some videos might have multiple winners. Maybe next one. Nah, I don't know. You didn't hear from me, so... Actually, you kind of have to hear from me, or it's a scam, so you did hear from me. Anyways, there were autographed versions of all of these official postcards, and they were signed by the actual artists, like the voice actors, for each of the gems, which was amazing. You had to download the Tokyo Metro app and scan posters that were in 12 different locations and 12 different stations in Tokyo itself, between when episode 1 and episode 2 of the anime aired back in October 2017. So I guess, like, if you want my signature, I'm happy to give it to you. It's an option, you just gotta ask for it. But I do keep count of everything that I have signed before, which is just one thing so far, so be warned. I'll be watching, don't resell it. Unless you're selling it back to me. Anyways, speaking of other forms of marketing, Sasaki is a Japanese jewelry house that specializes in pearls and diamonds. Back in 2017, with the anime announcement, they did a collaboration with Houseki no Kuni featuring 27 necklaces showcasing 25 lustrous. 3 that were missing were cinnabar, antarcticite, and one of the amethyst, because there's multiple. There were exhibits in Shinjuku, Ginza, and Umeda from August to October of 2017. Supposedly, there's like a little booklet and even a tote bag that was designed by Haruko Ichikawa, the author. Maybe this tote bag is the same one as the one with Volume 6's special edition. I'm not too sure though, as there's not much documentation around the, I guess, the goodies that came with it. There are pictures of the exhibits itself. I'll put some of them up here. But I would consider this the second anime-related merchandising available. There are also 2 separate afternoon magazine issues where Land of the Lustrous manga is published monthly that directly talk about the anime. I wouldn't really consider these merchandising per se, but it's definitely a collectible of sorts for a Land of the Lustrous fan, as our Phos does appear on a small part of the front covers. The July issue, which released on May 24th, 2017, that would be chapter 56 of the manga, had the first announcement of the Land of the Lustrous anime with a comment from Haruko Ichikawa. And this was also the same time that the website landofthelustrous.com got announced with all the announcements. And then the October issue of the same year, which was released in August of 2017, which contained chapter 59 of the manga, had some additional key visuals of the characters that were going to be with the official anime designs. Another piece of merchandising was the Congo radio. This was announced about a month before the anime, and it was distributed starting 1 day prior to episode releasing at a cadence of every other Friday on the official Toho YouTube channel. I mean, there's also physical versions of them. This is what they look like. This is volume 1. This is volume 2. It's pretty cool. I mean, you don't have to get this. You could just go on YouTube. Maybe this is where that Congo narration PV originates from, because the audio definitely doesn't sound like it's from the recording of the episode, but a separate recording. It definitely sounds different. But yeah, this radio show or whatever, Congo, does not have an official English translation, but there's definitely some parts that you don't need to. I mean, just listen to this bit right here. Yeah, I loved it.
今フォスフォビライトに聞こえなかったね。久しぶりに聞いた。先生。そういうことで、今日は黒沢智代さんがゲストに来てくれました。はい。どうもどうも。どうもどうも皆さんこんにちは。お久しぶりです。ありがとうね。ありがとうございます。フォスフォビライト言えない。何？フォスフォビライト役の黒沢智代です。いやね、実はね。ゲストのフォスフォビライト失礼します。あ。初めての投稿になります。ありがとうございます。
The final form of advertising that I want to talk about is an advanced screening of the anime that happened on September 24th, 2017, just shy of 2 weeks before the anime started airing, where they showcased actually the first 3 episodes of the anime on a big screen and had a talk show that was held afterwards. Actually, if you were on Twitter around this time, you could have had a part-time job to serve as guards. For this very event. It's kind of crazy. If there ever is a season 2 Studio Orange, I'm a terrible bodyguard, but you should definitely hire me for this role. This particular showing was screened again in Akihabara a day after the episode 1 released and the day after that. And then there was also, if you bought the November issue of Afternoon magazine at Animate stores, you were able to attend another screening the week after on October 15th. So there was plenty of chances for this. The talk show does give some really great insights into the anime production, because not only were the voice actors for Phos and Cinnabar there, the director Takehiko Kyogaku also showed up. This article by Animate stated that at that time in 2017, over 1.4 million copies of the manga had been sold, which is amazing to hear. And I believe the English publication had just started, because they started in 2017 as well. So I'm assuming the 1.4 million is Japanese volumes. And it was great to hear that a lot of these screenings were fully booked out. And apparently they were mainly females in the showing. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. The most interesting fact that I got out of it was that not only did Takehiko discuss at length with Haruko Ichikawa, but so did Kurosawa for the portrayal of Phos. You can read a translated version of the anime article by Kef that I commissioned over on my Patreon for free, as well as a plethora of additional information that I just can't cover in this video itself for both episodes 1 and 2 of the anime. Episode 2 adapts Chapter 3 titled Diamond and Chapter 4 titled Cochlea, but they're not really divided as cleanly between the A part and the B part like with Episode 1. Chapter 3's total page count of 38 pages is the same as Chapter 1 and 2, while Chapter 4 only has 24 pages, which is more representative of a typical chapter length for Land of the Lustrous. The A part cuts Chapter 3 in half, where Daya seems to be in the most danger, and then the B part ends where Phos seems to be in the most danger in Chapter 4. This episode, like the last one, was storyboarded and directed by the series director, Takehiko Kyogaku. The coolest component in his adaptation for this episode was the incorporation of sound and how it plays into these 2 chapters. The cochlea's main function is to convert sound waves into electrical impulses for the brain to interpret. Takehiko chose to add foreshadowing by repurposing just like a little flashback scene of Jade, and I would consider it original at this point, failing to wake Kongo up by breaking the same part of the body that Daya tries to conceal from Bor. I don't know on camera which one it is, but hopefully I'm picking the right hand. Well, let's say it's this hand. This is reinforced by flipping the orientation of the shock test so that Rutel actually hit the same arm that Daya later breaks off of Jade. The original panels work better in the manga because it's meant to flow from right to left, But this is such a simple yet effective way to adjust for the new medium. Is it a coincidence that it's a seashell or something of a sort that the Lunarians drop onto the school? A conch, like SpongeBob, does capture the sea via the trapped air bouncing around inside. Is that why we see the creature's brain at the end of the episode as sound gets converted? Maybe sound is linked to memories as a whole, which brings us back to Kongo's nap. The high dive dub clip of Jade's voice actor shows the source for the scene we got where Jade is trying to wake up Kongo, and we see the aftermath of the yell, which is hilarious. And I love this little insight that High Dive gave for us. They did one for last episode, and we got, I think it was with Rutal last episode. This time we got one with Jade, so let's see how many more we got, you know. Phos ellipsing has Cinnabar in the background panel in the original manga, and this scene was expanded by Takehiko by reiterating and re-showcasing the promise that Phos made in episode 1. Takehiko also inserts a new scene with the line "with or without them," which shows the same sky as the promise scene with Phos attempting to become a part of Cinnabar's world. This is why this same light is used again at the end of the episode to match the scenery of the last section of episode 1, so that this could all stitch all of these scenes together as Phos gets digested. They only think of Cinnabar and their promise. This is why they transition from here straight to the ED is so brilliantly placed, because it could be seen as a dream that Phos was while napping, or I guess passing away. Oh, we don't know. Which is why the rest of chapter 4, there's 2 pages that weren't adapted. I will admit that in the chapter itself, those pages, Phos's body visibly makes I guess not visibly, audibly makes a sound effect by cracking the shell, which does encapsulate the theme of the chapter, but it's okay. Takehiko's approach, I'd argue, is as streamlined as possible to convey the same overall meaning. The storyboard for this episode that was provided in the same artwork collection from the Japanese Blu-ray Volume 1, as it takes place near the end of the episode when Phos gets swallowed. None of the writing is really legible enough compared to Takehiko's previous boards with episode 1, so you're welcome to take a crack at what it even says. I mean, it's hard when it's handwritten text or kanji over just typed out ones. For the people that I've tried commissioning a lot of people for looking at this text, and most people will not accept, will not take up the challenge because it's just not worth it. I wouldn't say it's not worth it, but it's much more difficult than like typed text. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I like that more of the manga panels are actually used here, especially to get the posing of Bort and Daya fighting with their swords, as well as the framing for melting Phos, which obviously isn't as dark of a background in the depiction of the manga, because we see the inside of this creature. All in all, a pretty cool episode and a good wrap for the first volume of the anime. Obviously, there are many different forms of compilation. Even with this video, I mentioned that there was a 3-episode screening, which would have been interesting to talk about that like chunk narratively, or should I wait till the entire anime's 12-episode run to discuss the overarching structure? There's no real right or wrong way of going about this. Even this episode is a bunch of rambles, so it is what it is. Katsucon 2025, which happened back in February of this year, originally had a viewing of Land of the Lustrous on their itinerary for one of the convention days, but sadly they got swapped out for Trigun instead. So there's no way to see what like a screened version of this. Maybe we can create our own viewing experience at some point. Who knows? I wonder who or what decided to divide these volumes up into 2-episode chunks. I know that there's some Japanese shows that do have like maybe 3 episodes per Blu-ray volume. I don't know if it's a space thing or anything, but the English Blu-rays definitely just put the entire core in one release, so it might honestly come down to the buying habits of the end consumer, which is a dying market for physical media in general. Like for us here in the US, that Steelbook that I'm referencing came out in like 2018. maybe 2019, and it's been long out of print. And who knows how much longer even like a regular Blu-ray version will be available, since I don't think it can be bought off the Sentai store anymore. And it's not like we have any accessible streaming for this show at the moment. So you can maybe buy it off like YouTube or Apple TV, but I don't know. I personally would like having a physical copy, but that's just me. Remember to stay safe out there, and make sure not to put any spoilers from either the future manga or even future episodes in the comments. I will remove them. Hopefully, you don't have to wait so long for Natural Historian 003. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.